Living in the Trump era is often described as sitting inside a slowly boiling pot. There are things that should alarm us, but because they're happening incrementally and because they're happening repeatedly, because Trump shocks our system day after day after day, they become normalized. And there is one area of our national politics that, probably more than anything else, is boiling hot while also terribly, terribly normal.
This is the final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media, and we will liberate America from these villains once and for all.
This is the final battle. America has to be liberated from villains. Former President Trump, now candidate Trump, posted that video just a few hours ago. Trump claimed that he believes political violence is never acceptable, but rather than actually denouncing political violence, Trump continues to put out videos like this, filled with incredibly violent political rhetoric. And in the meantime, there have been plenty of acts of political violence. You might remember in April of last year, after Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg indicted Trump in the Stormy Daniels hush money case. DA Bragg started receiving threatening letters filled with white powder. One read very plainly, "Alvin, I am going to kill you." At the same time, a senior law enforcement source told NBC News that Alvin Bragg had been the subject of several hundred threats, a couple dozen of which were considered to threaten serious harm. Down in Georgia, where Fulton County DA Fani Willis is prosecuting Trump for his alleged election interference, the threats got so bad they had to actually make an arrest. A man in Alabama was arrested for allegedly leaving threatening messages for DA Willis and saying things like, "When you charge Trump on that fourth indictment, anytime you're alone, be looking over your shoulder." That connection between Trump's vilification of these men and women and the death threats made against them seems pretty cut and dry. But rather than denouncing any of it, Trump fans the flames. Here's a snippet from another video that Trump posted online a week ago today.
So God gave us Trump. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, fix this country, work all day, fight the Marxists.
Now, I'm not going to show you that whole thing, and I know it's sort of amusing to imagine Donald Trump getting up before dawn to go do God's work or whatever the idea is there. It is less amusing that this clip shows images of Jack Smith, Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, and Fani Willis over a narration about the final battle against the Marxists. All of those people have received threats, and yet Donald Trump continues to rile his supporters up against them. Special counsel Jack Smith was swatted on Christmas Day. That means someone called 911. And on this call, they said that Jack Smith had shot his wife. It was, of course, not true. This Sunday, Judge Tanya Chutkan was swatted. She is the judge overseeing the federal election interference case. Yesterday, news broke that someone had called in a bomb threat to the home of Judge Arthur Engoron, the judge overseeing Trump's New York civil fraud case. Over and over and over again, repeated rhetoric, repeated threats, and the danger just keeps increasing. That is the pot we have all been slowly boiling in. After Donald Trump's repeated exhortations about violence, the threat of violence has followed. And now we just sort of expect, I guess, that holding people in power accountable for their actions, that doing that is fundamentally risky, especially when one of those people is Donald Trump. Which is why I think this next story hasn't landed with as much of a splash as it should have. Today, Mediaite released bombshell reporting and audio of longtime Trump strategist Roger Stone allegedly threatening to kill Congressman Eric Swalwell and Jared Nadler, both Democrats.
There, go find Swalwell and get this over with. It's time to do it. Then we'll see how brave the rest of them are. You follow either Swalwell or Nadler has to die before the election. They need to get the message.
Mediaite reports that that clip was Mr. Stone before the 2020 election, and the source that provided Mediaite with the audio told the organization that they believe Roger Stone was not joking. The source said it was definitely concerning that he was constantly planning violence with an NYPD officer and other militia groups. Now, NBC News has not independently confirmed this reporting or that audio, and Roger Stone denies the reporting. He claims the tape is an AI-generated deepfake. But these comments are not out of line with what we have heard from Roger Stone before. Here's video played by the January 6th committee, again, of Roger Stone before the 2020 election.
I said, the Lord, and let's get right to the violence. That's what I'm It's no fault. Time to start smashing pumpkins, if you know what I mean.
Let's get right to the violence. We have to start smashing pumpkins, if you know what I mean. Roger Stone claims that video was also a deep fake. But again, we do know that Mr. Stone was actively in communication with the pro-Trump militia group, the Oath Keepers, around that time. Here he is on January 5th, the day before the attack on our Capitol, being ferried around D.C. by Oath Keeper security. You might remember the Oath Keepers as the group that was found guilty of literal seditious conspiracy for its role in the January 6th attack. Now, this week, Democrats introduced legislation to try to curtail paramilitary groups like the Oath Keepers, which is what you would expect from political leaders after an attack on the scale of January 6th. Condemn the violence, legislate to try and prevent it. That should be how every politician responds to that kind of attack, right? It is not.
Will you pardon the January 6 rioters who were convicted of federal offenses?
I am inclined to pardon many of them. I call them the J6 hostages, not prisoners. They ought to release the J6 hostages. They've suffered enough. They ought to release them.